I worked the night shift at a gas station when I was younger. There was this regular customer, nice guy. We called him Bob. One night, Bob tried to kill me. Turns out, his real name was Martin, and he'd just murdered his ex-wife. Working night shift at a gas station isn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. I was 19, just trying to make some money. The shift was 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., and honestly, most nights were dead quiet, but we had our regulars, and Bob was one of them. Bob would come in almost every night around 2 a.m., always drunk, always friendly, always bought the same thing, tall boy beers. He'd stumble in, grab his beers, make small talk, pay, and leave. We'd chat about sports, weather, whatever. He seemed harmless, just a guy who liked to drink. I actually looked forward to seeing Bob. It broke up the monotony of the shift. I had no idea what was coming. It was a Tuesday night, storm rolling in, rain starting to come down hard. Around 1:45 a.m., the parking lot was empty. Just me inside, doing inventory, waiting for the next customer. Then I heard the door chime. Bob, right on schedule. Stumbling in, soaking wet, looking rougher than usual. "Hey Bob, the usual?" I asked. He nodded, didn't say much, just grabbed his tall boys and headed to the counter. I rang him up. He paid, but instead of leaving, he went to the bathroom. Okay, no big deal. Guy's got to use the restroom. I went back to stocking shelves. 5 minutes passed. 10 minutes. 15. Bob never came out. I was about to check on him when suddenly the lights went out. Complete darkness. The storm must have knocked out the power. I grabbed my flashlight from behind the counter and made my way toward the back. We had a breaker box in the storage room that sometimes tripped during storms. I called out, "Bob, you okay in there?" No response. The bathroom door was open. Empty. Where the hell did he go? I shined my flashlight around. The store was small. There weren't many places to hide. But Bob was gone. I headed to the back room to check the breakers. That's when I heard breathing. Heavy. Ragged. Right behind me. I spun around. Bob was standing in the corner of the storage room. Just standing there. In the dark, staring at me. "Bob," I said, "you okay, man?" He didn't respond. He just stepped forward. Slowly. His face, I'll never forget his face. It wasn't Bob anymore. His eyes were wild. His expression was twisted. And then he lunged. He came at me screaming, "I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fucking kill you." I felt his hands grab my shoulders, his fingers clawing at my back, like he was trying to rip through my shirt. I shoved him as hard as I could and ran toward the front of the store, grabbed my phone, locked myself in the office. My hands were shaking so bad, I could barely dial 911. I could hear him out there, pacing, muttering, breathing heavy. The 911 operator stayed on the line with me until the cops arrived. Felt like hours, probably only 10 minutes. When the police got there, Bob didn't resist. He just stood there, like he'd snapped out of whatever rage he was in. They arrested him on the spot. One of the officers came to check on me, asked if I was hurt. I wasn't. Shaken up, but physically fine. Then the officer asked me, "Do you know this guy's name?" "Yeah," I said. "Bob. He's a regular." The officer shook his head. "His name's not Bob. It's Martin, and we've been looking for him all night." Turns out, Bob Martin had murdered his ex-wife earlier that evening. Brutally. The details came out over the next few days. He'd gone to her house. They'd gotten into an argument, and he'd killed her. Then he came to my gas station like it was just another Tuesday night, bought his beers, acted normal, went to the bathroom, and something inside him snapped. The police think he was planning to kill me too, maybe to avoid getting caught, maybe because he was spiraling. I don't know. What I do know is that if the power hadn't gone out, if I hadn't gone to the back room when I did, I might not be here. Martin was convicted of first-degree murder. He's in prison now. Life sentence. No parole. I quit that gas station the next week. Couldn't do it anymore. Every time that door chimed, my heart would race. I still think about that night sometimes. About how I used to look forward to seeing Bob. How I thought he was just some harmless drunk guy. How I had no idea I was making small talk with someone who'd just taken a life. You never really know who you're dealing with. And sometimes, the friendliest face hides the darkest secrets. Sometimes the scariest encounters are the ones you can't explain. This is one of those stories, and I still don't know what it meant. I was working at a gas station in New Hampshire, late shift, around 11 p.m. It was a slow night, barely any customers, just me, the fluorescent lights, and the hum of the coolers. I was getting ready to close up, counting the register, turning off some of the lights. That's when he walked in. This old man had to be in his 70s, maybe 80s. Small guy, wearing khakis and a button-up shirt. Nothing about him seemed threatening. He looked like somebody's grandfather. He grabbed a pack of gum and came to the counter. I rang him up. Standard transaction. That'll be $1.50, I said. He handed me $2. I gave him his change, and then he grabbed my wrist, not hard, but firm. His hand was cold, like ice. I looked down at his hand, then up at his face. He was staring directly into my eyes, not blinking, just staring. And then he said, "Hell is a real place, and the devil has already got his hand on you, girl. Be careful." I froze. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. He let go of my wrist, picked up his gum, and walked out. Just like that. No explanation. No follow-up. Nothing. I stood there for a solid minute, staring at the door. What the hell just happened? I checked the security camera footage later. He was on there, walking in, buying gum, grabbing my wrist. So I didn't imagine it, but I never saw him again. I worked that shift for another 6 months. Never saw that man again. To this day, I don't know what he meant. Was it a warning? A threat? Was he mentally ill? Was he genuinely trying to help me? Or did he see something about me that I couldn't see? I'm not particularly religious. I don't know if I believe in hell or the devil, but the way he looked at me, he believed it, 100%. And whatever he saw in me scared him enough to say something. I think about that old man sometimes, and I wonder, what did he see? Have you ever checked your back seat before getting in your car? After what happened to me, I check every single time because I learned the hard way that you're not always alone. A few years ago, I was driving cross-country, solo road trip, one of those find-yourself type journeys. I was somewhere in the middle of California, desert area, not much out there. It was around 10 p.m., dark. I'd been driving for hours, and my gas light came on. I saw a sign for a gas station 5 miles ahead. When I got there, it was one of those old, run-down places. You know the type, flickering lights, cracked pavement. Looked like it hadn't been updated since the 1980s, but it was the only option for miles. I pulled up to the pump. The place was deserted, no other cars, just me. There was a small building with a light on inside. I could see someone moving around behind the counter. I got out, started pumping gas, and looked around. That's when I noticed him, this guy, standing by the building, just watching me. He was smiling, not a friendly smile. It was off, like he was in on some joke I didn't know about. I tried to ignore him, finished pumping, paid at the pump so I wouldn't have to go inside. The whole time I could feel him staring at me. I got back in my car as fast as I could and drove off. I merged back onto the highway, empty road, no headlights behind me, just darkness. I started to relax, put on some music, tried to shake off that creepy feeling. I'd been driving for maybe 20 minutes. When I needed to adjust my rearview mirror, I reached up, tilted it down, and that's when I saw him, the man from the gas station, sitting in my back seat, staring directly at me in the mirror. I screamed. I slammed on the brakes so hard the car screeched and fishtailed. We were in the middle of the highway, no other cars around. The man didn't move. He just kept staring at me, still smiling. My hands were shaking. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would explode. "Get out!" I screamed. "Get out of my car!" He didn't say anything at first. Then slowly, he leaned forward, close to my ear, and he whispered, "I could have slit your throat." He opened the back door and got out, just like that. Stepped onto the highway, smiled at me one more time, and then he started walking back toward the gas station, into the darkness. I sat there frozen for what felt like forever. Then I locked the doors, checked the back seat again, and drove. I didn't stop, didn't pull over, didn't sleep. I drove straight through the night until I hit the next major city. I reported it to the police, gave them the location of the gas station, described the man. They said they'd look into it. I never heard back. To this day, I don't know how he got in my car. I didn't leave it unlocked. I know I didn't, but somehow he got in, and he sat there, waiting, watching me drive. What was he planning to do? Was he really going to hurt me? Or was he just trying to scare me? I'll never know. What I do know is this. He was right. He could have slit my throat. He could have done anything he wanted. I was alone, in the middle of nowhere, driving down an empty highway, and I had no idea he was there. So now, every single time I get in my car, I check the backseat.